This is it. After 2 reviews for the past few months, I'm finally ready to give my final and long-term verdict on the POCO F3. And spoiler alert, I think F3 is clearly the phone to beat if you're looking for the best bang for the buck phone in 2021 and leading to 2022. It's definitely worth its asking price tag, especially now that it has been in the market for almost 6 months, with its price slowly but surely getting lower and lower. That said, here's how the F3 held its ground after using it for an extended period. If you've been here from the beginning, I started reviewing the F3 with a white model that I really loved during that time. In the middle of my testing, I switched to the blue model, which was released at a later date. At first, I said I preferred the white model over this special blue design, mainly because I wasn't a fan of the patterns in the back. But over time, my preference went from "it's okay" to "I really like it." Yes, that design has grown on me. Having tested newer devices in the market, I just can't get enough of the uniqueness this design displays. Speaking of displays, this 6.67-inch display has also grown on me. My biggest issues with the screen of the F3 were its wide footprint and okay outdoor brightness. But after using the POCO X3 GT and even the Realme GT 5G, I started appreciating big displays now. It's actually making me think whether I still prefer relatively small displays over large ones, simply because of the immersion of big and wide screens is just better, albeit at the expense of hand gymnastics. Palm rejection also seems better now. I'm getting fewer and fewer random taps from the edges of the screen. Even the overall brightness capability of this AMOLED screen, I now appreciate more than ever after testing these new devices. So far, nothing has matched the F3's display quality when it comes to immersion and brightness. Now, I've seen a lot of your comments regarding screen dimming and flickering. Luckily, after 2 units of POCO F3, I have not encountered critical issues regarding the screen. The only thing that I notice is that the display dims to 70% when the games I'm playing are causing too much heat. As for flickering, I just couldn't replicate the problem on my device. So overall, the display of the F3 is solid at this price range. But for the cameras, I didn't notice any significant improvements since my last review. But at the same time, I haven't seen any phone yet that can match the overall performance of the 48 megapixel sensor of the F3, at least within the premises of the devices I've tested. There's one quirk though that seems consistent on the F3. Whenever using the built-in camera of any social apps, the back camera of the F3 processes the photo into a blurry mess. Now, I know that Android has bad support when it comes to this kind of thing. But when I tested other phones and even the selfie camera of the F3, I didn't have the same problem. That said, I'd recommend using the native camera app or any third-party camera app to fully take advantage of the camera's capabilities. When it comes to call quality, I've had comments from the other end of the line saying that they were having trouble hearing me. And coincidentally, I also observed that the on-call loudness of the stereo speakers was a bit lacking for my taste. I mean, it's not weak by any means, but I think you just need to be mindful of the ambient noise when initiating video calls. The 4500 mAh battery, on the other hand, continues to surprise me. I haven't been playing games that much on my phone, but that always made the F3 a solid day-and-a-half phone with heavy audio streaming and a 24-hour cycle. Considering that this has a 120Hz display and a Snapdragon 870 chip, the F3 is an endurance monster for a power-packed device. Now let's talk software. Throughout my reviews, the main standout whenever I mention software is the optimization of MIUI. Since my last review, I'm still on the May security patch and I've yet to receive any new major software updates. I initially planned to make this last review after the 12.5.3 Enhanced Edition comes out. But after seeing bugs like random reboots, I decided to stick with the older and more stable software and just release a different video regarding the Enhanced Edition, especially that I have yet received the update via OTA. So be subscribed to get notified when that video comes out. My main issue with the software of the F3 is that it tends to be stuttery or jittery in general performance. So things as simple as going home or transition animations, MIUI on this phone would show small stutters and slight delays in recognizing my actions. Most of you probably don't mind these small issues, but for people like me who always notice this kind of behavior, it gets annoying over time. I compared the F3 and the X3 GT that has a less powerful Dimensity 1100 chip, but that phone performed way fluidly than the F3. I was expecting that kind of fluidity from the F3, and I'm hoping that the enhanced edition would fix that. But for the 12.5.2 version, nothing has changed much. But I will say that the stutters and delays are less prominent when using regular wallpapers. I was using super wallpapers for the better part of my testing simply because it's an awesome feature from MIUI, but that feature does take a toll, maybe resource-wise. Notifications, however, have turned worse. I just started receiving late notifications again even with battery restrictions turned off. It's really an annoying occurrence and I wish Xiaomi addresses this big time in the near future. So if you're watching this Xiaomi, which you're probably not, please fix your notifications even at the expense of the battery. Speaking of battery, I think the F3 has a safety feature when it comes to overheating while charging. This happened to me twice, wherein the battery stops and stays charging at 93%. This happened with my POCO M3 Pro 5G before, same battery percentage. So I guess it's a precaution to prevent the phone from overheating when charging at fast speeds. But for the proximity sensor, I've seen a lot of comments regarding this, and not only with the F3 but with other Xiaomi phones as well. In fact, Xiaomi officially acknowledged this issue and will be working on a fix. But in my case, I haven't encountered any problems relating to the proximity sensor, so there you go. To conclude, POCO F3 has held up its ground as the best overall phone for the money. It has everything you can wish for in a flagship phone that delivers all the pillars of a great smartphone. Though we may never see the light of the so-called POCO F3 Pro, which could carry the Snapdragon 888 chipset, top-end devices with the said chip have been reporting overheating and battery draining problems due to the sheer power it provides. So for the F3, it's a highly recommended phone that can probably last for at least 2 years as a reliable daily driver. So that's it for this one. Drop a sub or like if you feel supporting the channel, and until the next one, stay safe.